refresh.
I did. It's on.
You see the chat?
Almost. There it is.
Awesome.
A little delayed, but that's okay. They're all saying hi, but I can't say anything.
Oh, you're on. They can hear you.
Yeah, they can hear me. Hi, everyone. It'll eventually catch up.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're coming to you from the old Victorian. Can you turn the volume down there so we don't get feedback?
They're all saying hi, but I can't.
Great.
There we go.
We're just trying to get a live stream going here.
Yes.
We haven't done this in over a year, so we're just trying to figure out how it used to work. Anyway, we're here at the old Victorian, and I promised that we'd set up a live stream and show you some hurricane coverage here. But, you know, right now, we're actually in pretty good shape. We have
Nothing's happening here, really.
Yeah,
We've got a little bit of wind, and that's it.
Not much, not much.
Yeah.
So we were hoping to show you gale force winds, rain blowing sideways, things flying down the street, that kind of thing. But so far it hasn't materialized.
No.
What's really happening is that the storm has moved to the east and it's headed more towards North Carolina, kind of more in the coastal regions. And anyway, we're glad to see you all here. So we thought what we'd do is, since we preempted our normal programming, we thought we would just throw up a live stream and just do a hangout here with you guys and see what you want to talk about. So, you have any questions for us? We can answer questions, and whatever you guys want to talk about. The floor is open tonight. What kind of comments do we have here?
A lot of people saying hi so far. Are we okay? Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is. We haven't had much of anything but a few 10-mile-an-hour winds, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
A few little bit stronger wind gusts, but that's about it. We've got nothing. We have a little sprinkle. It's like, oh, another windy day.
Yep.
So it might come in later tonight, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's hard to say. We needed to go out to the hardware store a minute ago, and it was kind of blustery and sprinkling just a little bit there, but there really isn't much yet. Now it could change. That weather is still to the south, coming off the coast, and later on tonight it could end up being pretty gnarly up here in this part of the state.
Yeah.
We just don't know yet.
How's the job going?
The job. Okay, well,
Yes.
Good question. We filmed a video talking about that very subject, and we haven't put it online yet. But I will say this, I'm back to work. I'm with a great company that has incredible growth opportunities, and I'm hoping to take advantage of some of those opportunities coming up here shortly. And we'll be talking more about that later. But the job is going great. I'm back making money again, and now we can afford to buy materials.
Yes, very nice.
Our bank account's not going anymore, so that's good to know. We appreciate all the support, the love and support you guys gave us through that whole time of unemployment. It was getting kind of scary toward the end because things just weren't happening, and the bank account is starting to dwindle. And
6 months is a long time.
It is a long time to be unemployed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
any more squirrel problems?
No.
Thankfully.
We won the squirrel war. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Something was on the roof the other night, though.
Yes. I think it's a raccoon or something. It's a fairly large creature, whatever it is. It's certainly not a squirrel, but
right.
They're not getting in, at least.
Yeah, they can't get up there anymore because we took down the power line when we put the underground service in. Yeah. There's no way for them to get here anymore.
Yeah. Do you miss the 1834 house?
Yes.
Yes.
We miss it a lot. We
yes,
loved living in upstate New York.
Yeah.
It was a little bit cold up there, but just
Loved it.
being immersed in that whole New England culture there was really neat. We love the folks up there. They're really, really great people.
Yeah.
There was a lot to see and do. And even in the winter, it wasn't that bad getting around. We could get 15 inches of snow and they'd plow it off and have it gone in just a matter of hours.
Yeah.
The house itself just had an incredible sense of history, even more so than this one. You walk in the door and you feel like generations, many, many generations have lived there before you.
Yeah, it's incredible. I do miss it.
Yep.
What about the woodwork that you painted thinking you were going to sell a house? Are you going to remove the paint?
Good question.
Definitely.
When we made that decision, we knew that it could go one of two ways. Either we would paint it, we'd move, sell the house, and that would be the end of it, or we would eventually have to unpaint it and do it over again. And that's what's going to happen here. So when we get to that point, we'll just basically strip off everything that we put on there, along with a few layers of whatever somebody else put on there.
Yeah. After the bedroom paint is stripped, what are y'all focusing on next?
We've talked about doing this room here.
Yes.
There's a beautiful mantelpiece under here, and that can all be stripped. Now notice we have some Victorian tile work here. This is the original stuff. I think it's the only room in the house that still has it. But this room has a lot of problems. It has cracked plaster, paint everywhere, and so we'll have to undo all of that and try to restore it just like it was everywhere else. But this room has beadboard on the walls. I don't know if you can see it here in the picture, your video.
I can see a little bit over there and over here.
Bit, but a beadboard wainscoting, which the rest of the house doesn't have, except I think the entryway. But I think this would be a great room to do next.
Yeah.
Turn the volume down.
Even more?
Yeah, I'm still hearing echoes. There we go.
Okay, there you go. A little bit cold. We are freezing up here, guys.
Oh, where is here?
What room are we in? We are in the dining room. Sorry, we weren't very specific on that.
Yeah, it's the downstairs dining room. It's just off the central hallway. The main staircase is right over there through that doorway. And we don't really use this room much. It kind of serves as a catch-all because we were planning on moving, so we were throwing everything in here in boxes, and we had a lot of stuff, and we're slowly getting it put away. I'm currently using it as a workshop to do some electronic projects.
What is your long-term intention in this house? Are you home? Yes. We were hoping that would be home from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not house flippers. We don't buy houses to fix them and flip them. We want to live in them. If life circumstances changes and my career takes me in a different direction, and then we'll revisit that, and we might have to do something different. But for now, this is us, and at least probably for the next 4 or 5 years, for sure, we'll be in this house.
Hopefully longer.
We'll see.
I love this house.
We'll see. My company has offices all around the country, and they have places that are pretty cool. So if we wanted to go back up to the New England states, there are offices up there as well.
What color have you decided for the exterior?
We haven't really. We were kind of looking at that pale green color, but we're having some troubles with it. I think we touched on it in a recent video. We're not sure if it's mildew or just dirt, but the paint finish definitely has something going on with it. We need to troubleshoot that, and we're just not sure. We may have to keep playing with paint formulas, but for the color, we might use that. A lot of people liked it.
Yeah?
I like it. Do you like it?
I do. Okay. Yes, I do. I'm reading the comments.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Are you really going to use the heat gun to strip the entire exterior of the house? That would take forever.
Yes, but this house has probably an 1/8 to 3/4 1/4 of an inch of paint on it. It is really, really thick. It's really chunky. And I don't think we've ever shown it close up on a camera, but it is very, very thick. And the only thing that can bust through that is the heat. Paint strippers, you might get a couple layers off, and you can go scrape it, and then you have to keep reapplying it over and over and over again. So in this case, yes, the heat is still the best.
Have we selected plants for the brick planter? Yes and no. Yes and no. I've been so busy with so many different things. I really haven't focused on it. I do know I want the old-fashioned tea roses, but I do want several different kind of plants in there still. I like the different colors coming up in the seasons throughout the year. So if I could get some greenery in there and some other things that'll pop up in the early spring. So it's going to take me a bit longer to work it all out.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know as soon as we get it all figured out.
And we've also talked about cultivating some miniature boxwoods just to kind of sit in front of the bricks and give it a little bit of interest to it.
I would keep it green there.
It would definitely
That
keep
would be
it green
nice.
all year round.
I like that idea.
Yeah, but we worked so hard on that brick planter and water catchment that we were basically ignoring everything else. So
Yeah.
once we got it done, it's like, oh, now we have to go catch up on all that other stuff that we haven't been doing that we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So,
Have you considered taking in a handyman or an apprentice to help with the task in trade for room and board, or maybe asking local high school? No, we actually haven't thought about that.
no, no, we haven't. But the house really isn't set up very well for having guests right now. There's no climate control on the second floor, so you either roast or freeze. There's really no in between, except for a few weeks during the year.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't work too well.
Power wash and scraper.
Mm-hmm.
That would work.
Yep.
Much easier, I think.
I know some of you keep saying, buy a power washer, buy a power washer.
In time, I think we will.
Yeah, we have 6 months of lost income we're trying to catch up on, so
Yeah.
eventually we'll get that.
Yeah, definitely. Are you going to decorate for Halloween? Probably not much this year. We did a little bit last year, but yeah, I don't. Everything is just still everywhere, and so nothing is really set up for anything. It still doesn't feel like home, although it's home. But with all the restoration stuff going on inside and outside, we keep our equipment, there's a lot of it in the entryway, and so it just doesn't quite feel like home yet. So
Yeah, well, we got an answer here on the, where are you? 20 miles north of the Canadian border.
well, that's
Sorry, I
someone
messed
else.
up your, is it?
That's someone else, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other one said he's freezing. He's up in Schenectady,
Oh, okay.
New York.
Okay. So we have a few viewers up there.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, glad to see you.
This one is
Former neighbors.
Regina. She's 20 miles north of Canadian border. Sorry, I messed up my Adirondack post. I love watching your channel.
That's probably the one corner of New York State that we didn't get to see is the Adirondacks, and wow, we really blew that.
Yeah,
We wanted to go up there, and we just never made it.
that was definitely on our desire list to go see.
I think closest we ever got there was the St. Lawrence River area.
Will you be changing the back deck now that you're staying? At some point, probably. We have that whole back addition section that we would still like to replace at some point. And then at that time, we would also redo the deck to a much more Victorian style deck. But that may be a few years down the road.
Yeah, it really needs to have frillies and foofies and whatever they call those things. Gingerbread.
Yeah, yeah. So for now, it'll probably just stay the same and we'll just put up with it, I guess. Thankfully, not many people can see it because it's in the very back of the house.
Yeah.
So. Are you planning on paving the carport?
Yes, eventually. Right now it's kind of covered with this decomposed, I guess granite.
Could
It's
be.
just like granite chunks, and
Yeah.
pieces, and it gets in the carpet of the car and gets all over the place and makes a big mess. So I'd like to tear that out and put in either concrete or asphalt. I haven't figured out which.
And the carport needs some attention too, because it's the roof line is starting to sag a little bit. It's noticeable.
Right.
So that might be part of the fixing the whole driveway area.
Yeah, and that area there is so small, we can barely squeeze a Mini Cooper in there and get the door open. That's how small that is. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
It's definitely for the covered wagon time.
Right. Yep.
Well, I need to go start some pizza
Okay.
because the dough takes a little bit of work. So I'm going to let you take over for now.
Sounds good. I'll keep
And
everybody
we'll
entertained as
see you
best I
guys
can.
in a little while.
Yeah, she'll be right back. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Hi from Western New York, near Letchworth. Hey, yeah, the Letchworth State Park. It's a great place. We've been there a couple of times. Family, have you had family visit here? No, not yet. I have a brother up in North Carolina, and I'm hoping to get back in touch with him here soon. Cobblestones would look great. Yes, they would. So would bricks. Minnesota, hey, from Minnesota. How would you restore the kitchen and bathrooms? That's a great question, and it's something I've been thinking about ever since we got here. The kitchen and the bathroom were basically built on what was a back porch area, and I know they had good intentions, but they just really didn't do a very good job with it. So what we'd like to do eventually is tear that whole thing off, extend the foundation out a little ways, and then build a 2-story addition that attaches to the house as if it was always there. In other words, the siding would be continuous and it would just look like it was always part of the house. And that way we could add a bathroom upstairs and maybe an office area. And then downstairs we could have a much larger kitchen and another bathroom here. So that's what we're looking to do. Hello from NYC, eh? Yeah, New York. Pizza night.
Oops.
Where's your mic? My mic is right here. Can you see it? It's this little black thing here. Did my microphone go off?
I
No, it should be
forgot to
on.
turn mine off.
I think we just lost our light up there.
Oh dear.
We lost our camera light. The batteries aren't very strong and they wear out quick, so sorry about that.
I'll run upstairs and get the one up there.
Okay. Mike's mic is off. Looks like it should be on. Let me just put this up here on the desk. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, Jeannie is in the kitchen. Can you hear my microphone? Did it come back on? Okay, great. Thanks for that. All right. I'm just looking out the window here to see what the weather looks like. Looks pretty calm right now. I'm not seeing a lot of wind. Okay. All right. I think we're back in good shape here. So, yeah. So, what other questions do you have? How many rooms have you completed? We haven't really completed any. We started on the upstairs bedroom some time ago, and we got busy over the summer and just finally got back to it. Jeannie makes pizza every Friday night, so she's. Do you still have your microphone on?
I turned it off.
Okay, great. Because I said you were in there talking about cheese or something.
Yes. Cheese, and I couldn't find the sauce.
Yeah, careful what you say. You're online.
Yeah, where was the cheese? I couldn't find it.
Yeah, see, where are we located? We are probably 20 or 30 miles south of Greenville, South Carolina, out here in the country. Let's see, have you decided to paint the house in the style of a Victorian painted lady? Kind of. People around here don't tend to paint their houses, really bold and crazy. And I don't know if a super painted lady look would be very appropriate here in the South. So we'll probably tone it back and maybe go with a 3-tone paint job, probably. Hi from Tennessee. Hey, good to see you. Your weather should be a little better than ours. Kimberly asks, how's the new job going? It's going great. I started back July 25th, and I went through 2 weeks of just wall-to-wall training, sitting in a classroom for 2 weeks straight, just, getting courses and taking tests and everything like that. So every time we'd take a course, it was about 2 hours long, we'd have to take a test, and it was a pass-fail thing. And so the pressure was on, don't fail the test, don't fail the test. And I came kind of close a couple of times, but got through it. Let's see, let me roll back through some of the older comments and see if there's anything. See if there's any other questions here. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Great, my brother lives there. 40 miles of Charlotte. It hasn't been too bad here. The worst is still the south. The wind is picking up. Chrissy Holder. So yeah, thanks for coming on tonight, and I really hope that the weather is kind and that you don't have any problems. Let's see, January 52 says, I'm just south of Columbia and getting pretty much what you're getting. Yeah, it sounds like it's not really doing quite as much as they said it would. Solange says, are pets in your future? It's hard to say. We used to have a dog, and we no longer have any at this point. Are you whispering? No, I don't think so. Let's see, Daniel Nichols says, your house is beautiful. We live in a Victorian home as well, 1892. Hello from Iowa. That hurricane hit my folks' home in North Fort Myers. They're okay, but without all utilities. Well, hopefully that won't be too long. I know that when utility companies, they have big power losses like that, companies from surrounding areas will tend to send crews out to the affected areas and go help out. It's really wonderful how the electric industry helps each other. It's kind of like a big brotherhood. And they'll go out there and they'll fix everything as fast as they can, and then they'll come back home when they're finished. Will you decorate each room for Christmas? No. We typically will decorate the front entryway and the outside of the house a little bit. We just don't have enough decorations to go around. So that's about what we can do. Let's see, plans on a vegetable garden. Yes, that's a Genny question. She's off in there making pizza, so if I remember.
What's the question?
Oh, here she comes. Come on close here. Plans for a vegetable garden.
Oh, yes. Oh, I was hoping to get one started this year, but it just didn't happen. So busy. So we're really going to try and get it set up this winter so that we can start some vegetables in the spring. I want to do all kinds of vegetables. I miss having a garden. Lots of vegetables.
Yeah. We had one when we lived in California, and we got some tomatoes out of there like you wouldn't believe. We got tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, zucchini. The climate there was just great. It's kind of similar here, except this is a little bit more humid. But we should be able to get some pretty good bumper crops, I think.
All kinds, I hope.
Yeah. Victorian lady, one Gladder, are you doing okay? Yeah, from Massachusetts. Have you replaced the fan over the stove yet? No, we haven't. We keep looking for a vintage fan that fits, that we can actually buy, but people just aren't putting them out for sale. Let's see, what do we have here as Jeannie goes back off to the kitchen. Did my microphone go off? We've had trouble with this thing. I'm not sure if you heard in some videos, it kind of pops and crackles. And we replaced the microphone element, but I think this thing probably got dropped too many times during construction projects, and I think it's starting to go out. So we'll look about getting a new one. Let's see. Daniel out, or I can't quite read. Let's see. Hi from historic Highlands in Fall River, Massachusetts. I live 2 streets from Lizzie Borden's Maplecroft residence. Oh boy. That should be an interesting place at Halloween. Let's see here. What's the width on the fan you need? I think it's 36 inches. Was that fan 36 inches? Yes. It is? Yeah, okay, it's 36 inches. So we're hoping to find something from the 1960s. How about a replica fan? Yeah, maybe. Let's see, I wanted to show you guys something really cool. Let me get up here for a second. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but check this out. Bear with me a second. So I've always wanted to be able to take this camera and walk around the house with it, completely untethered. Let's turn some light on so we can see. So here's the hallway, and we still have a little bit of network reception problems here, but I'm able to walk around a little bit. So one of these days I'm going to do a live stream, and it'll be completely interactive. You tell us what you want to see, and I'll take you there with the camera live. So I think that's going to be really fun. So get back to Command Central here. Well, looks like we got some pornographic stuff coming on in the comments there, so just ignore those. Sorry about that. All right, guys, do you have any questions? Hello from Yorkshire, England. Or is it Yorkshire or Yorkshire? Not sure. Hey, watching from Omaha, Nebraska. Hey, I've got a great idea. You know what I should do? Since I can go portable, I'm going to take you guys outside and show you what's going on weather-wise. All right, here we go. Sorry about the darkness. Okay, I'm outside now. I mean, how cool is that I can take you outside wirelessly and show you whatever you want to see. So there's the backyard. We got the street scene, but as you can see, there isn't really a lot happening here. The wind's blowing just a little bit, but it's certainly not gale force winds or anything like that. We're kind of getting into fall here, so a lot of the oak leaves are falling. You can kind of see the flag waving in the distance, but you know, as far as bad weather, not really much. So let's go back inside. Isn't it just beautiful? Okay, let's get back on the tripod here so I can see what you all are saying. I'd like to see videos of Genny cooking. You know, we'd like to do some more of that kind of thing. I've been thinking about if we can somehow get kind of a side channel going, and we could put all the kind of off-topic stuff there, like cooking and canning and things like that. So we're still looking at that. So Yorkshire, as in York Shire, we don't say the I. Okay. Have you ever shown us a drawing of every room in the house? No, we don't really have one, and we've never seen any blueprints for it. If there are blueprints, they may exist down at maybe in the county historical office or something like that. Here's what happens with historical documents. They're usually stored in courthouses or that kind of place. And those old places are built of wood. And guess what happens to wooden courthouses? Eventually, they all burn down. And I've seen this time and time again where they've lost their records because of some fire that occurred back in, say, 1927. So, dead ends. Are you going to tell stories for Halloween? I don't know. If I can find one in time that I think is good, I'll do it. I'm not really sure how much luck I'll have there. Are you going to wallpaper the room you just plastered? Funny you should ask. We got a wallpaper sample, and we actually hung it on the wall and filmed it. It's part of an upcoming episode. I'm not sure if it's this next one or the one after that, but we're actually filmed a couple of episodes ahead. But we're going to show you the wallpaper sample, and it's a lot of fun. I think you'll like it. So you don't have power, but aren't experiencing bad weather. Yeah, maybe I misspoke on that. We do have power. This light behind me here is electrically powered, and all the power is on in the house. But I have a camera light that uses a battery, and those little batteries just don't last very long, so it just conked out on us. Allison H., sorry, just joining. Well, we're glad you're here. I'm sure a lot of people are still at work right now. They'll probably miss this, so hopefully you can catch us on the replay. Yes. We have some viewers in the UK, apparently. That's great. That's great. You know, it's interesting. We do have viewers all over the world. Just about every major country, I think, has checked in at one time or another. There, Scotland. What kind of pizza is Genny making? She is making an Italian pizza, and we found this recipe online a while back. She was having trouble with her pizza crust, and we were never really satisfied with how good it tasted and the texture and everything. And so we went hunting. We found this recipe online, and it's this really involved recipe. It goes on for a couple of days worth of work, and you've got to do all kinds of different things. And when we tried it for the first time, it was just incredible, incredible. So she's been making that ever since. And it's just really transformed our pizza night. Toppings on the pizza. Let me ask, what are your toppings on the pizza tonight?
Pepperoni and mozzarella and bell peppers.
Pepperoni, mozzarella, and bell peppers. Keeping it simple. Could you point the camera down just a bit? Banner is almost covering your face. Oh, sure. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, hopefully that's better. We don't have an operator on the equipment, so I had to run in there and press the button myself. How's the weather? Weather's great. It's cloudy, it's a little bit blustery, and there's just a little bit of sprinkle, but so far nothing bad. Like I was saying earlier, I was hoping that we'd be able to show gale force winds, things flying down the street, and all kinds of interesting weather phenomena, that didn't happen. Not yet. It could still happen, though. My daughter lives in Sicily for 3 years. They put some interesting topping on the pizzas, like peas. Peas, huh? I never thought of having peas on a pizza. That's interesting. Yeah. Now that it's cooling down, have you noticed squirrels in the attic again? No, we cut off their route, which was a power line. We got rid of the power line. Now they can't come in. And we sealed up all the holes, and just in case that they try, they can't get here. Hi from England, we love you. Oh, we love you too. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all of you. Hi, Pam. It has really cooled down a lot here. In some very recent videos, we were complaining about just roasting and dealing with intense heat. It just really turned the corner maybe a week ago. The temperature really just came down and started becoming a lot more comfortable here. Have you decided what to plant in the new garden? The new garden will be all kinds of vegetables. We don't really have a list together yet. Rachel Scott says, I always have Italian sausage, black olives, and pineapple. Yeah. Any particular items you're looking for or looking for age appropriate for your home? Happy to look around for you. Not really yet. The place is so much of a construction zone right now that we don't really have room to put furniture into it. And we're also concerned about it getting ruined by dust and construction debris. So we're just trying to keep it empty for now, and we live in a couple of rooms in the house, and that's it. The pizza dough you've described sounds like artisan type pizza. I think that's what it's called. That pizza dough, is that artisan dough? Yeah, she can't hear me. She'll be back in a second. Oh, here she comes. The pizza, is it called artisan dough?
I'm not sure, really.
Okay.
I got it. I don't have my microphone on.
Yeah, just come down here close so they can hear you.
I'm not sure, really. I got it from the YouTuber Vito Icopelli, and it's really, really good. Mm-hmm. I love it. It does take some effort, but it's so good.
Yeah, it takes a couple of days of work doing all kinds of different things to it.
Yeah.
But it sure makes a difference in how the crust comes out.
It does, for sure.
Are you going to strip all the wood in the house or just some rooms? I think we'll do eventually all rooms, but we're trying to focus on one room at a time because I have a bad habit of starting a project and then I get interested in something else. It's kind of like, the dog and the squirrel, like, right? And so I have to watch out that I don't do that, because I can easily have 3 or 4 projects going on simultaneously and then nothing ever gets finished. So I just try to make sure that we finish what we start. It's kind of funny. When we found this house initially and we were looking at it, several people said in the comments, you don't really want to buy that house because there's nothing to do. And at first glance, it seemed like it was pretty much put together. But the more we started looking when we got here, we discovered, okay, yeah, that's got cracks in it, and that electrical system is broken, and it needs a lot of work. It really does. So we'll keep putting out videos for as long as we can. Can you share the recipe? Yeah, we'll provide a link to it. Somebody says, hey, Jeannie. Hi. Jeannie says hi. Are the built-ins behind you original? Is there more than one? Those are the only built-ins in the house, and I'm not convinced that they're original because it looks to me like the trim work was kind of cut and modified to make that work. And in other parts of the house, that area there would be a closet. But over here is a closet, so I'm not exactly sure how that worked out. The room behind me on the other side of this wall has no closets. So I think that there may have been some construction that changed a couple things at one point. The ceiling looks like a daunting task. Yeah, it really is. We just work on it in sections, and I haven't touched it recently because of the heat. It's just too hot up there. Will you take the paint off the built-ins? Yes, absolutely. How many doors do you have to strip? Oh my gosh. How many doors are in this house? That's the question. Each room has at least one door going in and at least one closet door. This room here that I'm in right now actually has two doors leading in and out of it, plus a closet, plus all the built-in stuff. I think the room across the hall has three doors in it. It has one door leading to the bathroom, one door leading to the living room, and then another to the hallway. Have you seen The Empire Strikes Back? Who hasn't seen, they're great. Caleb and Kim, they're doing a lot of good work there. And we've corresponded several times over the last year or so. And I'd really like to get out there and visit them one of these days and see their project. And maybe help them out a little bit if they need it. But yeah, we're familiar with it. I would love a tour around the house again, as I can't remember how it's all laid out. That's right. We haven't done a whole house tour in quite some time. Things have changed, and it's probably about time we do one of those. What color have you considered painting the exterior? We're thinking kind of a 2 or 3 tone green with some kind of accent. Them old houses had major door usage. Yeah, they did. They loved their doors back in those days, and I think the reason was practical, though, because that way they could keep the heat in the room. So if everybody's in this room, for example, they could light this fireplace up, shut all the doors, and then everybody's nice and cozy in here, and the rest of the house can just freeze. And over the years, we've gotten away from that. As central heating systems came into being, we started seeing more open floor plans and that kind of thing. But in this house, it's really a huge advantage to having doors. So we do have central heating, and that works to a certain degree, but sometimes we'll just be in a room and we'll turn on a little heater and just get nice and cozy in there and not have to run the central heat too much. Reaping what you sow says, I've been wanting to do what you guys are doing, but my husband is a carpenter and he thinks that I would be crazy to want to do what you guys are doing, but I find it fascinating. Well, yeah, it's definitely a path less traveled. You can very quickly paint a room and throw down some new flooring and window treatments, and you suddenly have a refreshed space. But to do it the way we're doing it, to try to bring it back to the historical look, by stripping paint and trying to use all authentic materials and techniques, it's hard. I'll be truthful about that. It's really hard work, and when it's done, it looks amazing. But it is hard work. Here comes Jeannie. You have your microphone back on?
I do now.
Okay, great.
I'm here only for a few minutes. It's almost done.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to jump off of here in a few minutes and have some pizza, but we'll bring the pizza in and show you what it looks like before we go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, let's see, an 1834 restoration house / Second Empire Strikes Back crossover would be magnificent. It definitely would. And we have some other channels that we follow too that we haven't really talked about, but we've gotten to know those folks over the last couple of years just by corresponding. Yeah. And I've always thought it would be neat if we could just take a weekend, go visit their project, help them out with some things, and do kind of a collaborative video, and then come back and bring that with us.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, because there's some great people out there that are doing restoration. I'm sure some of you are actually watching us right now, so hi. You know who you are.
Oh yeah, I'm hot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's hot in that kitchen.
It gets there
that
pretty quickly.
That kitchen has no cooling.
No. No.
Oh, let's see. I thought it would be a good bonding experience for the two of us. It can be. If you can work well together and talk about things and make good decisions, I think that working together on a restoration project is a great bonding experience.
It is. We have it worked out so he is the lead all the time, and we'll talk about how we want to do it and what works easier for me because I can't do as much as he can. Mm-hmm. But it works really well that way with him taking the lead for us, and I help.
Yep. And we spend a lot of time researching what we're going to do. Like
yes.
If, let's say we plastered the upstairs bedroom. We didn't really know much about that, so we had to watch some videos and read some books and talk to people.
For months.
You folks over there in the United Kingdom were actually a great inspiration for us when we started doing plasterwork because your tradesmen there, they're incredible. They've been practicing the art of plasterwork for centuries, if not millennia. And the things that they taught us just by following them were incredible, and it really helped us out.
It did. It helped us. That's where we got all of our information for the plasterwork.
Yeah. So we'll be doing some more of that down the road.
Are you going to redo the kitchen? I would sure love to. The whole kitchen used to be that porch, and it all slants down. I don't like that slant.
It has a few waves and bows in the floor that are kind of weird too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sewing projects. Yes, I have been. I am working on I don't know what year it is. It's probably 1890s dress. It's just like a housework dress. But I've been working on one of those. Thought it would be really cute for Halloween. And then I could also wear it around the house too. So I'm working on that right now.
Yeah, the room right behind us here is our office, and that's where we do most of our YouTube editing and stuff. We're actually set up in the dining room, transmitting to you wirelessly to that room and then out to the internet. There's a lot of moving parts here, but anyway, so she also has her sewing station set up there with 2 sewing machines and bolts of fabric and every knick-knack you can imagine she's got in there. So, if you guys...
All necessary for sewing, though.
Right. So if you guys are interested in that whole thing, along with the kitchen, cooking and stuff like that, if we can put up a side channel for that kind of thing, I think if you guys would like that, we could do that. So let us know what you think.
Some camellias in the new... It keeps bouncing.
Yeah.
Some camellias in the new raised bed. I'm not sure which one camellias are.
We'll look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check out Angela Clayton. She makes, I have seen, I watch her videos quite often.
Okay.
I do. She does really good work. I also watch Bernadette Banner, and, well, there's several of them. I watched several of them, though.
Yep.
But I don't intend to do it for, like, everyday wear so much as just it's comfortable in the winter because the dresses are longer and more comfortable and keeps me warmer. But I don't do it for everyday wear.
Let's see. Peony and Roses says, please update us who don't know what you guys are doing. YouTube just put your channel on my homepage. I love Victorian architecture. Probably why.
Oh.
Let me just give you the fast forward
check the pizza.
Reader's Digest version of this thing. So we've been restoring houses for years. We had a mid-century home in California. We had one in Oregon too, but it wasn't like mid-century modern. It was more like a Charlie Brown type architecture, if you've ever watched Peanuts. But the one in California was, I guess, how would you describe it? It's kind of a cross between mid-century modern meets Storybook Ranch. It was kind of a weird setup there, but great setting there in the California foothills, and we lived there for 4 years and did a lot of work on that place. But more recently, and this is where YouTube really came into play, was we started when we bought a 1834 house in upstate New York, and that's how the channel got named like it is. It was amazing. It was a brick house. It had 3 full floors plus a basement underneath and a big yard. Sat in a nice small village, New England style village, and just a wonderful place. And I lost my job there, and I picked up another job here in South Carolina. So we packed up, moved everything, and then we found this place. It literally fell into our laps. And if you go back and watch some of the other videos, you can see the story there. But that's how we've kind of progressed through doing restoration. So this is our first Victorian project, and it's been a real eye-opener. Yeah, so that's it. Let's see here. A sewing gizmo. Do you watch Harrodsburg Castle? Yes, we do. We follow Frank and Carrie in their big project. Their project is huge.
Yeah. I don't think I would take on such a large project.
Yeah.
They're very brave to do it.
Very brave. They're great people. Frank works his butt off on that thing, and I applaud them for doing that. And they're great people. So yeah, we do watch them.
Pizza. It's a little darker than I like, but
hopefully it doesn't
I got
slide
distracted
off the
by you guys.
Yeah. So this is the pizza she made.
Yes.
So we won't sit here and eat it in front of you.
It's too hot right now,
Yeah, we'll let it
so
cool
it'll
off.
cool off a little
So
while.
we can sit here for a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have?
Do we still have the P.O. box? Yes, we do.
Yes, we turned it off when I found out I lost my job. We knew we were moving, so I turned it off. Then I got another job. We got to stay, so I went back to the post office and I said, "Say, do you still have that post office box 198?" And it's a tiny little post office. The guy looks over his shoulder. Yeah, it's yours. so we have it back.
Yes.
You'll start seeing that in, I think, this next video coming up. You'll see the link to that. And it's going to show at the front of every single episode, we have our email address, and we also have our post office box. Sorry, I
Yes.
didn't mean to shadow your face there.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Where were you located in Oregon?
Portland.
Portland.
Yep.
Yep. We were in Hillsboro for a couple months, or a couple years.
Yeah. Hillsboro,
years.
Portland. It's kind of, Hillsboro is a suburb of Portland.
Yeah.
But I lived there for probably 23 years.
Whew.
So it was
I
quite a
didn't.
long time. We met, got married. Things started happening fast in my career, and next thing you know, we were out of there and moving, doing some pretty neat things.
Yes. We've done quite a bit.
Let's see. Have you looked outside within the last few minutes? I'm looking at the radar, and it looks like a wave of rain is headed your way.
Ooh.
Well, why don't you hold down the fort here, and I'll go look
And take the camera outside
if there's something to see.
if there's something to see. At the moment, it doesn't look like there's any wind or anything, but I love storms. As long as they're not deadly, you know. I do feel bad for all those people in Florida that got stuck. I do feel that. Not only stuck, but lost their houses. It's a tough situation. How is it?
It's pretty calm out there.
It's pretty calm still?
Yeah.
But it's coming.
It is coming.
Yeah.
Yep. It would have been more exciting to see stuff flying down the street and branches breaking and people trying to walk against the wind. Yeah, but
It makes better video, but...
It does. Sorry about that, guys. It does make for better video.
Are we going to do vintage kitchen or modern? Definitely more vintage.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll probably put a dishwasher in there, but I won't use it. So it'll have to be hidden kind of thing. I like the older methods. It's just easier for me, and I feel like there's more love and compassion that I can put into it.
Mm-hmm.
How long have we been married?
Well, we're coming up on 19 years, actually.
Ah, okay. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. We found some old video from some stuff that we had done shortly after we got married. We've been doing videos together off and on for a long time. But one of these days I'll throw it on one of our episodes so you can see what we looked like back, 18 years ago?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
We were young.
We were young.
Oh, yeah. It's raining in Kings Mountain, North Carolina.
Mm.
We have not lost power yet. We haven't had much of any rain or wind, really. We've had a few little wind gusts, which weren't too strong. Nothing to pick up any kind of debris or anything. Breaking in branches haven't happened yet. They say later tonight we're going to get the winds and the rain. Yeah, I believe it. Which would kind of be sad because then you don't get to see it. I want to see it.
Right.
If we have to go through it, I want to see it.
I know. I'm afraid that by the time it comes, it's going to be so dark that our camera won't be able to see anything. So
Yeah.
there's not much we can do about that. Our camera doesn't like the dark.
No, it doesn't.
It's a professional camera and it needs lots of light in order to work properly. So
Don't put a dishwasher in then.
yeah. Right now.
Will it still sell well later in the future? Well, they can put one in. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Vintage style with modern efficiencies.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. What's your least favorite project to do in restoration? Definitely plumbing and electrical under the houses. Anything under the houses. I hate doing that part.
I have to agree. Anything under the house, if there's a crawl space, hate it.
Yes.
It's always dirty and spider webs. And this house has its own issues that way. The front of the house is so tight, you have to belly crawl through there. Don't ask me how I know this. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I liked our old house in New York because I had a full basement.
Yeah.
We could go into there and we could work on pipes and wires overhead, no problems. Here, it's difficult.
Our first restoration house that we were doing, the very first one, I wouldn't go under the house. And then one day he's like, well, he really needs help. And I said, well, all right, but you've got to be able to find me. I want full coveralls that'll fit me. And some boots and gloves. And, you know, I want all of that stuff. I didn't think he could find coveralls that would fit me like that. He did.
Yep.
I was so devastated. I got to go under the house now.
I bring him home. Here, honey, here you go. Let's go.
Not happy. But I said I would.
And she did.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. And I have ever since.
Yep.
I'll help
We
him.
spent a lot of time under that house. That was the mid-century modern meets storybook ranch house.
Yes. Yeah.
Being in California, we often had earthquakes. And one day there was an earthquake that just jolted the house. I'm just like, jump, like that.
Yeah.
Jolted it hard. and it caused a leak in one of the pipes. So it's spraying water underneath the house. I'm like, what is that noise?
Yes.
Finally found it, and so we put a patch on it, right? Kind of a rubber thing with clamps.
Because we were planning on redoing that whole pipe system. We were planning on doing that in the later in the year.
Right, and that was just after we got a brand new well. I mean,
Yes.
the water coming off that well was to die for. It was so good.
Yes.
But the plumbing in the house was that old iron pipe, and so with a 3/4 inch pipe, there was just barely a hole the size of a straw for the water to go through. And it
Like a coffee straw.
and
It was not a full-size straw. It
and it
was
tasted nasty. It was just so nasty. So we, like she said, we were going to replace that, and then we had that break. I patched it, and then it broke over there. So I went and patched that, and then it broke over there. I patched that. It's like, okay, it's time to take this out and start over. So
I can't patch all of these. Just take it out.
so we went down, bought a whole bunch of copper and fittings and everything, and spent the next several weeks just building a whole new plumbing system alongside the old one.
Yeah.
And then we started cutting it over and getting it online, and that was. We thought we were done, and
That was a couple months because I had to huff that water from the wellhead all the way to the house every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like Little House on the Prairie.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, so anyway, that was fun. Not sure how we got on that topic, but what do we have here?
it was the worst restoration projects we didn't like.
Yeah,
And that's how we got there.
yeah, underhouses. I did a laminate countertop with metal trim and beadboard ceiling on my 130-year-old home. Instagram has great ideas. Yeah,
That was pretty.
that was a really popular look from, I think, like the 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe even up into the 70s, I think, laminate countertops. But in the 50s, they had that metal edge banding that went along the edge of the countertop, and it just looked great. A real classic look.
We're in California. We were in Grass Valley at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, up in the mountains.
Yep, it was so nice up there. It was 11 degrees cooler up there than it was in the valley floor
Yeah.
every day.
We lived in Sacramento for a little bit, and we lived in Redondo Beach for a little bit.
I think Jeannie should get her own cooking and sewing channel. I would sub and love it. We might do that. If there's some way that we
Thank
can
you.
like link these two together so that we can still get some credit for the stuff that she's doing. Because if she starts from scratch, we really don't get any credit for that for quite some time until the channel reaches 1,000 subscribers. So if there's some way we could just link the two together and just have, here's the restoration channel here, here's the sewing cooking channel over here, and they're all tied together.
Well, we could do mine on a different day of the week instead of Friday.
We could. We've tried that. But for some reason, if we put a cooking video out there, like midweek, the YouTube algorithm does something really weird with that, and it really cuts down on the amount of views that we get. So whereas we're used to getting 5,000-6,000 views every time we post a video, we put one of those up and we might get 2,000 views, and all of a sudden our channel rankings go down, and it's kind of a spiral. So that's why we've stopped doing that. So if we can find a way to do that and not lose the YouTube algorithm, I think that would be great, because the content's great. I know you guys love it, but there's something going on there that we don't understand.
Yeah, the whole YouTube thing, I don't understand.
It's all a mystery. It is. I'm surprised it's even working.
Have you got photos of all your houses you have completed? We haven't completed any. We've completed a lot of projects, but we've never gotten to complete a whole house.
Yeah, a house never really is finished.
Yeah.
So you can do things, then you find something else that needs to be done, and you just go on and on and on. And people who've been doing this for a long time can tell you that there is no end.
In the 4 years we were in Grass Valley, we did get the roof done. We got the plumbing, the electrical,
All new HVAC
and
system.
a whole new HVAC, and that's about it.
Yep. Converted an old garage to a chicken coop, fenced in the pasture so the chickens could run, put in a well, built a well house.
And a large garden.
put in propane.
A garden that was protected from any kind of animal up in there.
Yeah, I've got to tell you the story. So when I built the garden, I built it with 6-foot high field fencing and T-posts, and I put an electric wire around the top of it, and then I put some hardware cloth folded in an L shape right up against the fence, and then buried the rest of it here, and that was to prevent animals from digging through and getting under. But the best part was that electric fence charger. It was a 5-mile fence charger, and I was working night shift that time, and she said that she went to bed, and after a while she heard this loud screech and then a thud, and then something scurrying away. And then
That raccoon didn't know what hit it.
yeah, climbing up that thing, all three arms grounded to the fence, and reached up, grabbed that top wire, and pow!
Oh,
He tried that
great.
one more night, and we never saw him again after that.
Yeah.
And then we had a problem with cougar coming around, mountain lions. They'd come around and they would break open the trash cans, and they would scatter garbage and eat it.
Yeah, that was a big mess.
So these were plastic cans. I took those 2 cans, I tied them together, and I wrapped the whole thing with chicken wire, hooked up that electric fence charger, and then went to bed. In the middle of the night, you hear this.
It didn't come
He
back.
never came back after that. That was the end of that. So these are shenanigans you can do in the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hope we get to complete this house too.
Yeah.
Where have been your favorite places to live? Ooh.
Well, I've got to say we love it here.
Oh, yes.
We
Very
have the falls and the spring seasons here are incredible. Warm weather. The winters are mild. The summers are hot and humid and unbearable, but you get 3 months of that in exchange for 9 months of really great weather. People around here are, excuse me, are generally friendly. Southern hospitality is not quite as strong as we had thought it would have been when we got here.
There's a lot of new people coming in,
Yeah.
and so the Southern culture is kind of fading in this area
Yes,
quite
it's
a bit.
fading, being diluted. I think when you get away from the cities, it probably is still there, but around Greenville, not quite so much anymore.
Yeah.
What else? We've lived in Seattle. That was incredible.
Well, Seattle was not fun at all, but being able to go to the mountains or going over somewhere else to the beach or going anywhere else other than Seattle town.
It was tough
It was
living
great.
here, but surrounded by incredible scenery and places to go. So
Yes.
we'll say that.
Yeah.
California, Grass Valley was amazing. We've lived in SoCal, around Los Angeles.
Redondo Beach, that was
Redondo
fun.
Beach, yeah.
I liked that.
So we really have enjoyed everything, every place we've been, with the exception of one, which I won't get into. Out of respect for those of you who live there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold down for it. I'll be back in a second.
Oh, okay. My husband, an electrical engineer, appreciates your garden fence story. He says it's not done until it's overdone.
That's right.
So true.
That's right.
But when you've got all of your food out there and you live in the mountains, you have to protect what you can so that the animals can still have all of theirs. And so we did have some other fruit trees and stuff around the area and the yard on the property that we did not fence up, so the animals could have all of that stuff that fell, and that was fine. And we'd always give the leftover stuff from the garden. You get too much or you get extra pieces or whatnot, you just toss that out there too, so the animals could have that too. So we weren't being stingy. We just wanted to get some of the vegetables.
Don't burn the pizza. Well, it's already here on the plate, cooling off, so we'll get to it shortly here.
Yeah. Lived in Seattle 31 years, finally had to leave. Lovely things there, but the feel of the place changed drastically.
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
it did.
We lived in Portland for a long time and would occasionally visit Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent part of our honeymoon there. We actually
We did.
and went to the underground city and toured the place. And
We saw a lot of stuff there.
it was a lot more casual in those days.
Mm-hmm.
And easier to get around. And then just recently, it's grown so much, and the whole culture has changed. And
Yeah.
it used to be kind of an industrial town. You had Boeing and shipyards and mills and that kind of thing. Now it's all high tech.
Yep. Well, we should get going our pizza. I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
I'm hungry. I
Okay.
can see it and smell it. I'm hungry.
All right. Okay, sounds good. Well, you guys, we sure appreciate you, and you know, you've been a great friend of the channel,
Yes.
and we want to keep this thing moving. So
Yes.
there are some changes coming, which we'll be talking about in a couple of episodes from now. Some good changes, but changes nonetheless. But we'll just, you know, keep pressing on and keep restoring, and you know, as long as you guys are here and keep watching our videos, we'll keep putting them out. And we'll try to have a live stream every now and then. I know it's been way too long. It's overdue, but we thought the storm's coming. Now's a great time to do it. And instead of storm coverage, we had a nice hangout.
Yeah. There's
So
still very little wind right now.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're going to go eat our pizza and
Yes.
go in the other room and push the button. So anyway, thanks again for coming, and we'll see you soon. And this is going to be the video for this week. So what we had planned for this week, we'll put on later. So probably next Friday.
We'll see you next week.
Okay,
Thanks
bye.
for watching.